Let's get real. Let's get real lit.
Welcome to Get Real Lit, where we explore and discuss religion through the lens of pop culture. Faith, cleanliness, resurrection. Those are the themes I found on a season 2 episode of Little House on the Prairie, a primetime television series that ran 9 seasons from the 70s into the early 80s.
1970s.
I still get giddy hearing the theme song of Little House on the Prairie. So I'm deconstructing some elements from an episode of Little House on the Prairie. It's from season 2, it's entitled Haunted House. And it begins as if it's like this thriller, and it ends as if it's been hijacked by Christian missionaries. And whether or not it was meant to be a tool of kind of Christian propaganda, awareness is powerful. So I'm gonna help you decipher some of these Christian codes. Laura befriends this hermit named Mr. Pike. Most people in Walnut Grove think of Mr. Pike as a homicidal maniac.
Rel, it's that Amos Pike. He's coming. He's headed this way.
You mean the hermit?
No, he's no hermit. He's no hermit. He's a maniac. Get out of here. Out.
Harriet!
What?
So, spoiler alert, he's not a homicidal maniac, but he is a broken-hearted hermit who's having very active delusions.
A lot of folks around. They couldn't help but love you. Not the way I do, but then what we got is special.
A love story for the ages. So it makes total sense why Laura Ingalls, Prairie psychologist, would be the one to help him out. After Laura first meets Mr. Pike, she kind of has a freak out. She's a little mean to him.
You're not anything to tell anybody about. You're not even a maniac. You're just a mean, selfish old man.
She returns to Mr. Pike's house to atone for her behavior and offers herself up as a housekeeper / spiritual guru / grief counselor. But really, she cleans a lot. So you tell me if it's not a theme of this episode.
The way you let her house go.
Translation: you've let things get messy on the inside.
What?
Well, look at this place. It's a mess.
I've been meaning to...
Nina won't make it fit for woolly bears.
God doesn't care what you think about. He wants you to take action.
Have to clean your broom before you can even sweep.
You think broom is a metaphor for the human mind?
The windows are looking a lot nicer. I don't know anything a lady could appreciate more than clean windows. Except maybe a clean yard with flowers.
Letting light filter in. Flowers need sun, God, light.
There, that's finished. Could polish furniture if you had some furniture polish.
Well, use your eyes, child. There's a bottle right there on the table.
Maybe the Ingalls are Methodists, and it's a whole cleanliness is next to godliness type vibe, which was made popular by the theologian John Wesley in like the late 1700s. So eventually Laura finds out that Mr. Pike's wife died 20 years ago of cholera.
It's one of the facts of life, Adeline. It's gonna come to all of us the moment of God's choosing. It's one of the reasons why it's important to have faith.
Faith? Shit. He's really going for it. I mean, how do you even define faith?
I don't think Mr. Pike has faith. He doesn't go to church.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean he's without faith. Be praying in his own way, same as we did out on the prairie.
I hope so.
You know, even people who aren't much on religion generally turn to God in their time of need.
Does God listen to people who aren't very religious?
Sure he does.
Slow clap for Charles Ingalls. This is very progressive thinking on his part. When Laura confronts Mr. Pike about his wife, it doesn't go well.
Mr. Pike, please listen to me. It's about Miss Lily. She got real sick, Mr. Pike.
That's a lie. It's a lie. I know it's a lie. When she gets her fill of the big city, she'll be back.
Mr. Pike,
Get out! I don't want to ever hear anymore.
And they don't speak for 2 weeks. And during this time, she does a lot of soul searching. Who, what can I turn to?
It's right here in the Bible. Jesus said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead,
yet he shall live.
if Mr. Pike only believed that, he'd be all right, wouldn't he, Pa?
Yes, he would, darling.
Laura underlines that verse and then gives it to the hermit.
I read what you marked so many times. I knew every word by heart.
This is the big theological payoff.
Does that mean she's up there in heaven?
Yes.
Laura Ingalls, spiritual advisor.
Help me to believe, child.
Really get it. Really get the message. Really get my codes.
Help me to believe.
This show aired September of 1975. So we also have to place this storyline in 2 historical contexts. The 1800s, which is when this show is set, and also the mid-1970s, when the show was written. Television, like religion, helps us make sense of the world. So it's important to understand what we're watching. You know, who that includes, who it excludes. You know, is it a nuanced portrayal of a tradition? Is it harmful? Is it helpful? Does it give rise to, you know, civic discourse? These things are really important. So let's get lit. Real lit.
Let's get real. Let's get real lit.